Hey guys, Joshua here with my brother and co-host Eli from This Is Something, and today we're in the kitchen.
Well, I'm kind of hungry, so let's cook something up. This is food.
Hey guys, we hope you're having a beautiful day today. We want to welcome you to the very first This Is Food. Before we get started, I do want to make a quick shout out to Spacelab_shirts on eBay. They're an eBay seller who we got these awesome aprons from. If you can't see them, you should be able to read them from there, but his says, "This is apron," mine says, "This is food." Very awesome customer service. I know you're very passionate about customer service. Point being, very, very awesome customer service. We ordered these, and you have to do we did custom wording, and he wrote me back like the next day after I ordered them because I ordered them late at night, and he says, "Do you want the design to be straight across? Do you want it to be up and down? Do you want it to be all to one side? Do you want it centered?" All this stuff. It was awesome. Very awesome experience. This is what I chose. I didn't even know if Josh would like it or not. But this is what we have.
It's pretty cool.
And these are pretty sweet. They're very nicely made. We got them
Yeah, that's
a
actually
great
good material.
price, and this is good material. So, just a big shout out to him. It was a gentleman I was talking to. I don't know if he owns the company or whatever. Great shout out to Space Lab Shirts. Very great job, and we will be probably buying from you in the future. Thank you very much. But let's go and get started with today's episode. Josh, what are we doing today?
Okay, well, something that people don't. I didn't really mention it in our reintroduction. I think I mentioned it in our introduction on This Is Podcast, not something. So I didn't mention the reintroduction. I'm actually, career-wise, I am an ACF certified chef. I don't do it. I don't chef anymore. I'm more of a former chef. I spent about a decade in food, and I was, I ran a restaurant, and I was the chef of a restaurant.
Yes,
exactly. It wasn't my business. I was the chef for some. Kitchen managed, worked in a lot of restaurants, and so this is kind of my forte, or one of my fortes, something I do. Just to let you guys know, we're not cooking today. Okay. Our first episodes are going to be a two-part episode. So this is part one, and just be on the lookout in the next week or two for part two. But we figured before we start teaching you how to cook, or before we show anything, before we put out recipes and stuff like that, show you how, that we would do some kitchen essentials. What tools do you need, and what ingredients should you have in your house? So today is part one, what tools. And so, I'll let you kick it off with the first tool you'll need.
Yep. This is a chef knife, this is a French style chef knife.
French style chef knife.
This is my personal one that you gave me when I moved into my apartment. Essentially, this is a 7-inch blade. Very standard. You can get these all over the place. You can get them at the dollar store. You can get them at for very expensive, very cheap. Something you had mentioned to me before is the fact that this is actually one of the few items that we're going to show you today that you really should splurge on a little bit when you buy one, price-wise, because a good one will last you forever.
Yes.
So,
the chef knife I use is actually this one. It's a Mercer chef knife. I think I spent about $65-ish, and I've had it for 10 years.
Yep.
But it still is a knife I use every day.
Now, if you can't, a lot of people, some people can't afford that. If you can't, you're not going to die if you go and get one from Dollar General and have a $2 chef knife.
Well, when I say splurge a little bit, you can get a good chef knife, a good, not great, a good one that will last you a long, long time, in the price range of 30.
Yeah.
In the 30, 40 range, that will last you a long, long time. So, chef knife, get one. This is an important tool.
Very important, mostly for chopping up vegetables, cutting meat, stuff like that.
So when you're, you got your knife, you got your chef knife, but obviously this is not something you want to do small tasks with. By the way, you can do everything with this. Just FYI, you can do everything from, cutting your vegetables and fruits and your
cutting pizza.
Carving kind of meat you can slice. I've carved plenty of turkey with my chef knife, but it's not always the best tool for the job when you're trying to do small work, and for that, you'll need a paring knife. This one's very colorful, very pretty purple paring knife. These guys come a dime a dozen. Get one. Get a couple. Yeah, get a couple. I have a couple. I have 3 or 4 at home.
Yep.
You don't have to spend very much on them. They can be colorful. They can be whatever. Paring knives. You need them. Get some. They're just for that small task stuff that you need to do.
We have one more knife to show you today. Again, these are kitchen essentials. This is a bread knife. It is serrated. Typically, bread knives are almost always serrated, I'd say.
Yeah.
These are a little bit more accented serrations than, say, some where they're a little bit smaller. This is another Moser, I believe. Actually, it's Moser Tool Company Chef Cutlery. But this is another knife you'll need. You can do a lot with this as well. You can carve meat, like we had said with the chef knife as well. If it's a little bit tougher, you have the serrations here. Obviously, you can cut bread with it if you're making bread at home, or buying it by the loaf.
Well, it's good for like crusty breads, like French breads and things like that. The other reason I like it is to cut things like tomatoes. I use my bread knife all the time to cut tomatoes. If this is sharp enough, and it should be, we're gonna get that in about 2 seconds. If this is sharp enough, you should be able to slice right through tomatoes. But I kind of like just using my bread knife. And so, a bread knife's a good one. Remember, there are lots and lots of types of knives out there. There's santakus, there's boning knives, there's slicers, there's all kinds of knives. We're going with just the very essential, what you should have. Just a quick note about knives, we'll move on. Guys, a dull knife is more dangerous than a sharp one, okay? A dull knife does a couple things. When it dulls and the edges round out, they're not a V, but they're kind of a round. When they round out, they have a tendency when you cut, they kick out, and when they kick out, they could kick out towards your fingers. All right. The force you have, when they're really sharp, you don't have to put much force behind them. When they're dull, you might have to put a little more force, and then you kind of cut through.
And there's your thumb.
And now there's your thumb. So guys, keep your knife sharp. How do we do that? Do you need to buy a sharpening stone? No. This is what I do. Get yourself an AccuSharp, okay? It's got a little blue handguard here. It's got this little notch. You run your knife right through. Run your knife right down. All right. 5 or 6 swipes. We'll keep it sharp. We'll keep it nice and sharp. This runs $5 or $6, guys. Get yourself one. Keep your knife sharp.
So to move on, one thing that Josh constantly reminds me of when it comes to kitchen, one of the most important tools that you can have in the kitchen is a humble towel. I know you can go on and on and on and on and on about this. Oven mitts, cleaning, sweat, spills, anything. Obviously, you don't want to reuse it for cross those lines. You don't want to use this for sweat and then pick up your dish that has steak in it. But point being, get towels, super cheap. You can buy these literally dime a dozen, I think, on eBay. But you can go to the dollar store and get like 3 towels for $1 or something like that. I mean, just get some towels. Very, very useful for so many applications.
I'll say this: in 10 years that I've worked in the decade that I worked in food, a little over a decade actually, that I worked in food. I don't think I've ever been in a professional kitchen where we had oven mitts. We always use towels. Okay, so yeah, get yourself some. Use them for everything. On the online knives, kind of skipped over it on accident. It's gonna be a simple one. Get yourself a cutting board. Okay, this will protect your countertops. Will protect all your.
It'll protect your knife.
Protect your knife. Protect your knife. Protect your countertops. It'll protect your hands, because knives can slip off the surfaces, and cutting boards are meant for the knife to cut into and stay, versus like if you use laminate, the knife will kick out under you.
Yep.
So, moving on, you need some.
A lot. We have a lot here to show you, but these are just spoons. Lots of spoons, and these are slotted like this, and unslotted. you flip those, and unslotted spoons, or as you call them in a professional kitchen, a lot of times they're called male female. Generally, we have a bunch because there's a lot of different materials, a lot of different sizes, shapes, flat, curved. There's serving spoons and there's mixing spoons. There's all these different things. Just get some spoons, slotted and unslotted. They'll save your life in a lot of applications.
Every professional restaurant kitchen uses steel spoons, and that's what I use.
Yep.
So that's more of a personal preference, but spoons, you need them.
Spoons.
All right, guys. One of my favorite tools in the kitchen, the one that I use all the time, is a good set of tongs. Okay. What do I mean by good set? I'm not talking about those long, flimsy metal barbecue tongs you get in like packs for your grill. I'm talking about nice, hard steel tongs. Okay. This is like it's gonna cost a little bit more, but not by much. Not by much. Not dollar store tongs, guys. Good, hardy tongs. All right. I use this for everything. I stir spaghetti. I serve spaghetti. I flip steaks on the grill or flip.
So you can't
I
use
flip
it on the
things.
grill. I mean, it's...
I use these for everything. I'll tell you when I can't find that towel to grab something hot out of the oven, I will grab hot pans with my tongs. Okay, and these are nice tongs, so I can lift a lot of weight with them. I can pull out. This could be a tray full of stuff, and I can get them with my tongs. Might have to choke up a little bit if it's a little heavier, that's fine. A good pair of tongs, guys,
goes a long way.
goes a long way. So, spatulas. Let's talk about spatulas real quick, because I think what I would suggest is get yourself a good semi-firm spatula, and I'm going to explain to you what that means. I have 3 spatulas here, okay? They're all good spatulas. Just plain black plastic. They're all pretty much the same, except that this one is has a lot of flex to it. You can see, hopefully, that I got a lot of bend on this. And this one doesn't really have a lot of bend
At all. It's pretty stiff.
firm. So I kind of like, this is my go-to spatula at home, and it has a little bit of flex,
But it's still kind of firm.
but it's still kind of firm. Get yourself all 3 if you can or want, but we're talking about what is a basic kitchen essential. A semi-firm spat. Just go to the store. Take it, just kind of lightly see how much bend it has.
You may kind of look like the egg guy from Clerks. Find the perfect egg, crack them, shake them, look, stare at them for hours. But that's okay, who cares?
That's right. So moving on, we'll need...
These are rubber spatulas. These are These are obviously 2 different kinds of rubber spatulas, different shapes, but they're still both rubber, mildly flexible. This one's a little flexible, more flexible than the other. You don't want these mostly for scraping different things. For some reason, whenever I think of a rubber spatula, I just think of like a cheese ball or something like that, scraping the edge of the bowl. You can, if you can dig into a pan a little bit to get stuff off. Mixing, a lot of times you're mixing different things. A lot of baking, you'll use a rubber spat for. Different shapes, different sizes, dime a dozen again. Or you can get a nicer one that's going to last a little longer. Keep them away from hot ovens because they will melt.
Yes.
There you go.
Moving on. A whisk.
Whisk.
This one's kind of small. I prefer a little bit bigger, but whatever. This is, a whisk. A whisk is fine. Get yourself a whisk. Has a million uses, more than you think.
Like a rubber band.
So, get yourself the Humble Whisk. It has its. I have that right up against the light, and I doubt you can see that on camera. So I'm gonna kind of try and
It has a place.
put that in front of Eli so you can see it. So get yourself a whisk.
On top of that, there are many needs to measure in the kitchen. Generally, that's all you really have to say about it. When there's sizes, when you get a recipe and it says a tablespoon, obviously you can use a tablespoon if you have tablespoons in your china collection. But if it says, a half, like this one here, it's a half teaspoon. If you want to get that perfect amount, you're gonna want something like this. Also, he had, a glass measuring cup. These come in different shapes, sizes, plastic, metal. These kinds come on rings. Just get some. You're gonna need it, especially for, like we said, baking, mixing spices, stuff like that. You're gonna need these. Again, dime a dozen. Go to the dollar store and get some. So
Just a note on real quick. Just a note because you did mention if you have a tablespoon, go ahead and use a tablespoon. Just a real quick note on that. Tablespoon, like a tablespoon like this, right? When it's a built-made tablespoon, it is measured out to its tablespoon. Every tablespoon is measured the same. But if you're using a tablespoon out of your drawer, like what comes in a silverware pack, those don't have to be measured by a tablespoon. So
Yep.
it could be a little more or less, which isn't so much a problem if you're cooking. But if you're baking, it's more scientific. You need those exact measurements. It's going to be a little bit of a problem. So I'm going to rush through these real fast. Peeler. You know what it is. You probably have one, as well as a can opener. If you don't have these things, get them.
Yep.
And a box grater. I don't think I have to talk too much about this.
cheese.
Carrots. I shred my carrots for coleslaw this way.
I've seen people use it for lettuce too.
Yeah, I've seen people do. I don't really like fine shredded coleslaw, but if you want fine shredded coleslaw, cabbage. So when I make Asian dishes, I want shreds of cabbage. Sometimes I'll do that. A box grater, real simple.
Million applications.
A million applications. Get yourself a box grater.
So this next one, you've already seen it twice now, but this is a saute pan. This one specifically is a larger size. We highly I'm sorry, I keep doing that. We highly recommend getting a large one and a medium one. But like something we were talking about the other day, you really, if you can do it in a small pan, you can do it in a medium pan. If you can do it in a medium pan, you can do it in a large pan. If you can do it in a small pan, you can do it in a large pan. So really, if you can only get one, get a large skillet like this, large saute pan. Not this a non-stick. That I prefer a non-stick one personally. I don't know about you. So yeah, that's just general. You know, there's so many things you do. You make sauce. You make pancakes. You make a million eggs.
I honestly use my saute pans to cook more than any other pot or pan or anything else. I use my saute pans to.
That's one. If you want to get that up.
All right, so guys, a pot. Get yourself a pot.
Soups.
Again,
noodles.
Get a large and a medium. If you know, because anything you can do in a small, you can do in a medium. So a pot, you could do a million things with it. Get yourself a stock pot, something big that you can do some soups in.
And something
Because we'll be
related to
talking about
that
soups.
that is very important for in most kitchens is a colander.
Now this
Or
one
we call it a strainer specifically.
This one came as part of this pot set.
Actually, not
you
this
can get
one,
these,
another one. But
oh, okay. Well, you can get these a lot cheaper. You can get just a bowl-shaped plastic one from like Dollar Tree, and that's actually, honestly, truly, I have 3 strainers at home. They're all dollar store plastic strainers.
Yep.
So tell us about casserole dishes.
Not much to say about casserole dishes, but still, get some casserole dishes. This is actually a pretty small one.
That's a tiny one. Yeah.
Generally, this comes in a set actually of 3. There's 2 this size that go in a big one that fits both of them.
And this one's really fancy. It's got the fun.
Yeah, it's got some decoration on it.
And it's got some fun, wavy.
Wavy size and all that. You can get these in a solid glass pan. I mean, generally you do want glass or ceramic in my experience with casserole dishes. It doesn't burn and stuff like that on the inside. This is specifically a ceramic.
This is one of the few things that I say get yourself a large, medium, and small, depending on the size of your family.
Yes.
If it's just 3 of you, that'll do her.
It depends on what you're making, too.
I have 5 people in my house and 3 growing boys, one of who is a teenager. So yeah, this ain't gonna cut it.
Nope.
I need something quite a bit bigger. So get the ones that match the size and the amount you're cooking for. Okay. If you need large, get large.
And
if
this
you
would
can
be
get away
better-
with small, go small.
In my opinion, something like that would be better for a side dish for a small family as well. So to go on with that, something that we've talked about a lot was baking and such. Something you want to get is mixing bowls. So we have 2 different ones here. Again, this one's ceramic here. That one's just straight glass. Mixing bowls, you're gonna need them. Flour, dough. There's so many different things you can use a mixing bowl.
You can get
for.
them in glass, you can get them metal. Guys, get different sizes and get 3 to 4.
Oh, so something like this too. This one's pretty. It's also a serving bowl. I mean, that one is too. I mean, depending if you're having guests over, you might want something more like this, a little pretty, colorful. But that one's just straight glass too. It doesn't really matter that much. Point being, very versatile. It's an absolute must. You need some mixing bowls, especially for baking. And different applications.
Well, and I'll reiterate, you're right. Very versatile. So guys, different sizes, 3 to 4. Really, go ahead and get yourself some bowls. All right, finally,
We have
baking sheets.
baking sheets.
One here has a rim, one is unrimmed.
Yep.
You probably want both, but if you're
Really speaking, if you can't have both, get that one.
get one with a rim.
Because, I mean, then when you need a rim, this one won't just magically grow one. But when you don't need a rim, it's not going to matter if you have a rim. But this one's just convenient. You can fill out the whole space. It just depends on what your use is. Mostly, this one right here is an absolute necessity. Again, we can go with anything. Anything that's going in the oven is probably going on this, unless you have a pizza stone for when you're making pizza. So, I think that generally wraps up.
Now remember, this is just a look at what you basically need. This is a very
Yes,
basic.
there are other items that you.
There are lots of
would
tools
want.
we didn't show you that I have, that you guys have. Well, we're just looking at the very basics. If you're just been setting up a basic kitchen, you know, a lot of the people, you know, end up getting packs of pots and pans or packs of hard utensils, and so you already have more than this stuff. But
Yes.
we're just looking at, if you're setting up a basic kitchen, this is what you would need. These are things that I use almost on a daily basis anyway.
Yep.
So
Before we close out, just real fast, we did want to do a shout out. Thank you to our mother. I live here also, but this is our mother's home. I should say our parents' home. I shouldn't say it that way. This is her kitchen, though. She will tell you that straight to your face. This is her kitchen. We are using her kitchen for this space. We are shooting through a breakfast bar, so it's very convenient for us. And some of this stuff is also hers. It's stuff that I use on a daily basis because I live here. And some of this is also yours. So, but as you said, that's a good look at what you basically need in your kitchen.
So before we sign out, real quick, guys, comment below. What do you want to see us cook? What, you know, is there things that you want to know how to do? Is there things you want to learn how to cook? Are there recipes you want to see? In the comments below, tell us what you want to see from this show. Like I said, this is the first episode. It's part 1 of 2.
Of the essentials.
Of the essentials, but once we get through those 2 parts, we're going to hit it hard with cooking. What do you guys want to see from this show? So with that, why don't we sign out?
Until next time, I'm Eli.
I'm Joshua,
And
this is Food. We hope you liked today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment because we enjoy chatting with you.
Also, check us out on Instagram and Facebook at This Is Something. All the links are below. Thanks, and have a beautiful day.